until I started working a painting like it was in 3 dimensions, I would have trouble with perception, depth perception, or making things recede or push forward or backward. And that was also a technique I had to learn based on the color, the values. And so a lot of my paintings in the beginning were very chromatic with the knife, and I noticed that there was very little depth. So I took a couple classes, I did some more research, and learned about underpainting. I learned about values in color. I learned about composition, and then that from the painting started applying to this sculpture. Then I use similar tools. I might use a palette knife over here, and over here I use a knife, but it winds up being a similar motion, a similar technique. And then the last thing was getting a better, more refined set of skills as a sculptor, I think. Because I started out mainly just working with my hands or one tool. I will now use anything from a torch to an X-Acto to a cutting wheel. I mean, it just depends. Now, there's always a tool that gives me the look that I want on a sculpture, and it winds up being something that looks the same on a painting. I got these techniques, all this kit of tools that I was working with, and I would do basically like a G.I. Joe kind of a figure, and I'm looking at it going, all right, that sucks. So you smash it up, start all over again. And maybe I do it this time sleepy. Maybe I do it this time with a little smoke. Maybe this time I'll try it, whatever. Just doing it differently until I could just let my hands just do the work. And when that happened, I noticed. I use similar tools. Mainly, it's a knife. I started picking my places, so that probably helps both forms come together, because I don't use the knife everywhere. Sometimes I use my hands, sometimes like with the brush you get your technique right, but the knife, when I use it is the same in a sculpture and a painting. What I'm trying to capture a moment in time the way I see it and replay it back to somebody in a way that informs them. I mean, to put it in a nutshell, but I think we were talking earlier about developing your vocabulary, and for me, my message had started to become, well, okay, it's really not about trying to find a different way to paint. It's about trying to take this painting and draw you in and make you think. So the message is, for most people, they don't care. For somebody else, they'll look at it and be drawn into it, like you were speaking earlier. The colors, the values, the way you compose it, the look in the eye of the figure, the main figure. Sometimes the perspective will be the commentary. The painting came first, but the first time I did a sculpture, I felt like I was home finally. I felt like I had finally found my medium.